Welcome back to another episode of Whip Media TV. I'm your host, Whip Media Mickey, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to the channel, you know what to do to the channel. Join the Vibe Tribe. Subscribe right now. Let's get it. In today's episode, I cover the Hip Hop Daily Laws, Part 3.
Anger was starting to come out from everything I had went through. And and then I had a dream around like 19 of just years of acting out that I died. And I was like, how? This is so crazy. How? Like, no, I'm not sick. No one knows. I'm like walking out of my mom's house. And this figure was there, and the figure was like kind of explaining to me that I was leaving Earth. It was such an eerie dream. And I was like, where's Jesus? And the figure was like, he's not here for you. And I woke up and immediately, it was Sunday morning, and I literally drove myself to church, and my life changed after that.
The near-death experience. You see, there are books written by people who have near-death experiences, and they were fascinating. The effort is usually as follows. Normally, we go through life in a very distracted, dreamlike state, with our gaze turned inward. Much of our mental activity revolves around fantasies and resentments that are completely internal and have little relationship to reality. The proximity of death suddenly snaps us to attention as our whole body responds to the threat. We feel the rush of our adrenaline, the blood pumping extra hard through the brain and through the nervous system. This focuses the mind to a much higher level, and we notice new details, see people's faces in a new light, and sense the implements in everything around us, deepening our emotional responses. This effect can linger for years, even decades. Daily law. We cannot reproduce that experience without risking our lives, but we can gain some of the effect through smaller doses. We must begin by meditating our death and seeking to convert it into something more real and physical.
Sunny day, everybody loves him. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain?
Okay.
The hypnosis art. The goal of persuasive speech is often to create a kind of hypnosis. You are distracting people, lowering their defenses, making them more vulnerable to suggestion. Learn the hypnosis lessons of repetition and affirmation. Keep elements in putting a subject to sleep. Repetition involves using some words over and over, preferably a word with emotional content. See, ideas can be permanently implanted in people's unconsciousness simply by being repeated often enough. Affirmation is simply the making of strong positive statements, like a hypnotist commands. Seductive language should have a kind of boldness, which will cover up a multitude of sins. Your audience will be so caught up in your bold language that they won't have time to reflect on whether or not it is true. Daily law, cut out, I believe, perhaps, in my opinion, head straight for the heart. Hope for us all.
I don't know why he does this. He sends it to me like he loves me. He really, really does. And I'm giving y'all the word because if y'all have read the Bible, God, I forgot his name, but he always used to give messages to one of his prophets. So I always want to remind y'all that he is real. He is real. This man is really real. He is really above us, creating miracles every single day.
Despite our pronounced irrational tendencies, two factors should give us all hope. First and foremost is the existence throughout history in all cultures of people of high rationality, the types who have made progress possible. They serve as ideals for all of us to aim for. You see, all of these types share certain qualities: a realistic appraisal of themselves and their weaknesses, a devotion to truth and reality, a tolerant attitude toward people, and the ability to reach goals that they have set. The second factor is that almost all of us at some point in our lives have experienced moments of greater rationality. This often comes with what we shall call the maker's mindset. Other emotions simply make it impossible to concentrate because we have to get the results. We become exceptionally practical. We focus on the work, our mind calm, our ego not intruding. If people try to interrupt, we resent it. Daily law. These moments, as fleeting as a few weeks or hours, reveal the rational self that is waiting to come out. It just requires some awareness and some practice. Hip Hop Daily Laws, Part 3.